Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing, as you've probably seen from the title of the video, we're going to be ranking all the palettes I bought this year. And if you're new here, my name is Salika and welcome. And this channel we talk about a ton of eyeshadow, we do a lot of tutorials, we just kind of hang out and be chill really. So if you're into that, please stay tuned, like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Okay guys, like I said in the intro, we're going to be doing all the ranking of all the eyeshadow palettes I bought this year, but with a small itty bitty little twist. So, of course, I don't even know how to put this. So of course I've bought palettes that, especially if you're A, on YouTube, and B, a makeup lover, especially eyeshadow, sometimes things get out of hand, you know, like a little bit. So there are some eyeshadow palettes which I'm a little embarrassed about to talk about that I have bought and not used. So before we get into the ranking, we're going to go over the palettes that I've purchased but not used yet. Alright guys, so, before we get into it, this is a pony from Insert My Name Here. And I, honest to goodness, do not remember the name of it, but I will put it in the description box, and I got it at Ulta, so, and it was like 50 bucks, so I just wanted to make sure, no, my hair's not ever this long. No baby, the curly hair doesn't grow that well, no. Anyways, so let's get into the palettes that I've purchased this year and have not used. I actually just realized that two of the palettes that were in that stack, I've actually used them before, and I had made a TikTok about one of them, and I had to like redo the whole ranking. So anyways, let's get into it. So the first two we're going to talk about are two ColourPop palettes. Let me preface this with saying that I purchased a lot of ColourPop this year. A lot. So bear with me and I'll try to breeze right through them. But these are 5 palettes that I haven't used. 3 of them are not ColourPop and 2 of them are. The first one we're going to talk about is the Limoncello palette. It came out, I don't remember when this one came out. And this one got a lot of like really great reviews. People really were like super into it. And like as they should, it's a beautiful neutrals palette. But as you can see, my love, there's not a whole lot about me that loves neutrals. Like, ma'am, I literally go out in makeup like this all the time. I even go to work in makeup like this. And I work in a fairly conservative like type place, so like that says a lot about my personality. So unfortunately I did swatch a lot. I did swatch this, so if it looks like it's been used, like there, I was just swatching it, but there's nothing wrong with it. I just never really gravitated towards that one. The next one is the ColourPop in the Limelight. Now this is one of the palettes that gosh, I can't remember her name right now. I watch her all the time and I don't know why I'm like blanking on her name. She really likes this as a summer palette. It's pretty, like it's pretty, and I love green, but it just never drew me in. Like I think I got this as part of a freebie thing on ColourPop's website whenever they were just trying to get rid of some of their inventory. I don't not love that I have it, but I definitely don't reach into it, which kind of bums me out. But this is one of them I haven't used yet, other than just swatching. The next one that I purchased and haven't used yet is the Beauty Bay Disney palette, and this one's the Jungle Book one. Now I can't wait to actually use this because like it is very super duper unique. It's very unique. I genuinely don't have colors like this in my collection, and I have I'm telling you, I have a huge ass collection, so I know this is super unique. You can see that my nails dug into this bitch, and I'm so mad, and I can't wait to use this one. This one definitely is on the table to get used. I just haven't pulled it out yet, and this I got like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, but just other things have called my attention faster, so this is why this one's in there. Now these last two palettes, I literally have gotten them in the last day or so. So this one, oh, I'm so excited to use this one. This is the Unearthly Cosmetics So Strange palette. Hold on, I think I didn't take the plastic thing out. How absolutely gorgeous is this? Like, I'm so glad. I wanted to get the Weirdos palette also, but I couldn't afford it, and this was the last one in stock, and I'm so happy that it was still in stock when I ordered it. It's so beautiful, and I cannot wait to use it. I absolutely am dying to use it. It's just like hefty, like it just like feels so good in my hands. And by the way, I'm a super big Beetlejuice fan, so I just can't wait. The last palette that I've came in, today. This one got here today, and I already fucked it up, and it pissed me off. It is the Adept Cosmetics Plain Jane palette. They were having a sale. Sorry, it's little. There we go. My lighting got weird. It's so beautiful. It's very old school packaging, and you can see that I freaking messed it up while I was opening it, and I swatched the crap out of it. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. It's actually, which shade? I dipped into ACI 10, this one right here, and I use that in my inner corners, but I don't consider that being technically used for a full look. I just wanted to dip into it because I couldn't keep my grubby little hands off of it. Okay, now that we've done our honorable mentions, the palettes that I've like purchased and not used, we're gonna go ahead and get into the ranking, so hang tight. Alright guys, so I'm sorry that this video is probably going to be hella long, and I'm so sorry, but I'm going to try to breeze right through them. Again, as a preface, I do have quite a bit of ColourPop in here, but couldn't help it. It is what it is, so let's get into it. So unfortunately for our bottom one is the ColourPop Off Melrose Place palette. It is a beautiful neutral palette, and obviously, like I said already in this video, I'm not really a neutrals kind of girl. If you see me wearing a lot of neutrals, my love, I am depressed. I am so sad. Like, nothing's making me happy. Nothing makes me more happier than wearing bright colored eyeshadow, being super extra, the hair, the nails, the bangles, the clothes. Like, this is me at my I'm golden right now stage. This just doesn't scream me. This kind of screams like, hi, I'm depressed. Obviously, now I'm speaking for myself. If this is you in a palette, please don't get offended. That's just my personal preference. I'm kind of out of the whole being into press glitters. I still use them here and there. I do have some singles, but this one just isn't. This doesn't scream me. That's all. That's really what it is. It's just personal preference. Now, as we get into this next one, you're going to say, well, this one's colorful. You're right. This is the ColourPop Cabana Club palette, and this one's much more colorful. And you're right, it is, but still, it's just there's so much neutral in here. This is basically a neutral palette with a couple pops of color. There's nothing wrong with the formula. I love ColourPop. This just isn't something that just screams my name, honestly. It's beautiful, but you know, it still just fell where it fell because of personal preference. Now, I grew up watching Avatar. This is honestly, I don't even know, like, I should have counted all these palettes, but I did not. I'll get to the top whatever and I'll let you know where they're at. The top 4, I'm sorry, but I'll count them up, and hopefully we'll put a count on the side, so at least you know where they are ranked. Damn it, I forgot about that. Anyways, this is the Avatar palette. I loved Avatar when I was growing up, which is what prompted the purchase of this. Unfortunately, no, like, it's just, the quality just wasn't, ooh, there we go, me putting my fingernails in this. Just the quality wasn't there. Like, it's still beautiful. Aesthetically, I like it. Like, I love the greens. I love the shimmers, but it just wasn't there for me. It kind of just was lackluster. I did use this one quite a few times, especially this shade right here, Earth Kingdom, and Earth Rumble. Like, I definitely love, these are like beautiful colors, but it's just wasn't it. I don't know what happened. Like, this could have been so much better than what it was. And the only reason it's higher than the other two, it's just more aesthetically pleasing to me. But that's really about it. Like, I was kind of shocked that they would put out something like this type. Like, I genuinely felt like the quality just wasn't there, which was kind of surprising to me. But it is what it is. Again, it's just, I don't know how to explain that. Alright, the next palette, this would be, alright, this is the ColourPop and Tinkerbell. I actually really like this one. This one had quite a bit of shimmers. I did like this shade a lot when I did use it, and I used this one in an Instagram reel. And it's like towards the bottom of my Instagram. I'll make sure I link my Instagram page and my TikTok on there, so if you guys want to check it out, please by all means do. I really like this one. Again, it's just not something I reached for. Definitely more than the other three that we just talked about. But I haven't reached for it in months. So tell you right there that although I do like it, it's just not something that I've been gravitating towards. Alright, so now this is the last ColourPop palette that we're going to talk about before we get into some more of the other palettes that I actually purchased this year. This is the ColourPop of Quartz palette. This is a beautiful cool tone palette. Honestly, I don't know why I don't reach for it. It's aesthetically pleasing to me. I really like it. Maybe it's just not something that I'm into right now. I do have the Stone Cold Fox palette, the Mega palette that they have that's cool toned. I absolutely love that palette way more than this. If I was going to rank all my ColourPops together right now and do that separately, I could honestly say that I would have definitely the Stone Cold would have been way higher than this. This would have been towards the bottom. It's a beautiful palette. I really like this cool tone store, especially if I was into it. But I like it more than the ones that I've already talked about. But I just don't reach for it just like the other ones. Alright, so this one's going to be pretty controversial. The next ones are going to be pretty controversial. So this is the Tom Ford Quad and the Honeymoon shade. Oops, I forgot those were in there. So this, hold on, let me take those little things. This is beautiful. This really is, but the reason this is ranked so low is because I honestly can't make a full cohesive color story out of it, or look out of it. Now I do every so often use this one just for a pop of color on the lid, especially if I'm doing a work, like I'm getting going type thing, going to work. But I don't see the hype. I really don't. I don't see why people hype this up so much. Granted, like, look at me. Like, do I look like I'm gonna use something that has medium opacity, has a little shim on the lid? Not really. It just doesn't do it for me. Alright, next one is, oh god, people are gonna roast me. The Pat McGrath palette, the little mini palette that she came out with, the mini eyeshadow palette in Midnight Voyage. I thought this was like, I was genuinely shocked by the quality, and not in a good way. Like, not in a fucking good way. I was like expecting, oh okay, her good quality eyeshadows in a baby mini, so like people who are interested in Pat McGrath have an opportunity to try it. Bitch, like, look at my hands, look how big. Like, this was $29. Like, I have no words. Like, are you kidding me? bit. Like, come on. And I'm the stupid ass who paid for it. I'm the fucking dumbass who paid for it. The only reason this is so much more higher up is because this is the type of color story that I would use. I would wear this if I was so inclined to pull this out. I won't, and I don't. I would probably take this traveling with me, absolutely. This is definitely travel friendly. Keep it very minimal, not minimal obviously, but like if I wanted to, I would definitely reach to take this with me. But I was genuinely shocked. Like, I was like, I paid $29 for this? For this? Okay. Because I expected a lot more. But I wasn't going to put it at the bottom because there's quality there, but just, I was expecting so much more. And I think that that's that's why it's so low. Again, as a reminder, this is all personal preference, guys. I'm so sorry if I don't explain things well. That's not where, like, where I'm really good at. It's just I know how I feel about it, and that's just where I feel they belong in the ranking. The next palette that we're going to talk about, now this one specifically, I purchased this year, but it definitely did not come out this year. Let me make sure I say that. But I was so obsessed with this palette when I kept seeing it everywhere this year. I was like, nah, I have to get it before it goes away. And this is the Huda Beauty Wild Obsessions palette in Jaguar. Now this is a fucking gorgeous color story. Oh my god, it's so disappointing that the quality just isn't there. This is not a full black. This is a very like gray charcoaly black. It's not full on like wham bam thank you ma'am color black. Like, and then the shimmers aren't as like, they're just not like, look how weak that is. Like, when you look at what my eyeshadow looks like right now, like, that's just, it's just, it's okay. But I definitely like it a lot better than that Pat McGrath and the Tom Ford, honestly. So, it just is what it is. Next is, and I'm so sorry about this one too, the next one is going to be the Lunar Beauty Nude Prism palette. This is a beautiful neutral palette. Like, I'm not going to lie, it really, really is a beautiful neutral palette. Again, though, not a neutral girl. I didn't get along with some of these matte shades down here, which is why it definitely got as low as it did. I found that some of these shades were hard to blend, and I got patching, and I really haven't been struggling with any dry patches on my eyelids in like for a long time. For like 2 years I haven't had any dry patches on my eyelids. So the fact that it patched up on me, that's why this is so low. Unfortunately, the shimmers are beautiful, but they're not enough to pull me towards like pulling this out. Now I would travel with this and keep it very simple, like just in case, like but it's not something that in my mind I'm like, oh, let me grab my Lunar Beauty palette. Now the next one is my Nomads, what is this? The Hudson Valley palette. Now this is freaking beautiful. This is beautiful. But the shimmers are borderline toppers. Like, I'm not a big super red person. I like very grungy type color stories. So I'm not super inclined to use this too much. And some could say that this is this could run grungy, and I could definitely, you're right. But to me, it's not pulling for me. Like, you know, the shimmers aren't really doing it for me. Again, this is more of a shimmer thing for this one, not the mattes are perfectly fine. I'm not a big fan of this row, but I would use this row. These two I would definitely use, but like the shimmers don't do it for me, and these reds don't do it for me. So I definitely just don't grab this one for that specific purpose. But I like the Nomad palette. I bought their Whistler Lodge palette, the blue, I don't know, it was their Christmas or their holiday palette last year in 2021, and I loved that one. It was beautiful. Alright, so don't come for me. Like, literally, don't fucking come for me. I'm sorry, but the reason this one's higher than that one, and I'll explain, I promise, is the ColourPop Good as Gold palette. And I know this one's a neutral palette. I know, and I talked so much shit a second ago. But the textures and the shadows here are amazing. I love this. Black is amazing. This brown's amazing. Like, it's just beautiful. There's just so much dimension in this palette, which is why it's so high up compared to some of the other palettes that we were talking about, and me talking so much shit about neutral palettes. I promise you. But you have to be into textured shimmers. Like, if you're not into textured shimmers, you're gonna fucking hate this, because you'll hate this shade, you'll hate this and this. Like, in this one's a, yeah, no, this one is, yes, this is the Super Shock formula in 24K right here. But I love this one. I do reach in for this one when I see it and I notice that I need something out of it specifically. I do reach into this one. The other ones, I can tell you right now, I absolutely do not reach into them. Very rarely. The only one that, outside of this one and the ones that I've already talked about that I reach in for every so often, is that Tom Ford quad for that one singular shadow. But don't come for me. I know that I said I'm not into neutrals, but this one just has a lot of dimension in their shades and what they are offering in this specific palette, which is what had me rank it so much higher than the other ones. Okay, so this is a new palette. This is the Neutrals by C Color Cosmetics, and I'm kind of surprised I ranked it as high as I did. Let me open it up. This is a dupe palette for the Tati Beauty palette that came out a few years ago. I'm sorry, I always get confused on where to hold this. When the Tati palette came out, I couldn't afford it. It's plain and simple. I could not afford it. It just wasn't in my budget. I saw Jen Phelps get a package from C Color Cosmetics, and she was talking about the price point, and the price point was phenomenal for their Black Friday sale. I got this for $7.99 plus shipping, and it ended up being $11.99. For the price point of this, I thought this was phenomenal quality for the price point. I used a lot of the shades actually. I used from here down, I used this brown one, and I mixed this one and this one together, and I got a beautiful look. I also mixed it in with another palette, which we're going to be talking about here in a minute. But I think if you are looking for a neutral palette with a lot of text, a lot of variety, and a lot of different formulas, for the price point, I think you can't go wrong. I definitely will be reaching in for the Elite, pretty much all the mattes. Maybe not this coral shade that much, or this one, but definitely for this. I'm not super big on glitter anymore, so that might go unused, but I can see myself using this a fair amount of times that would make it worth the purchase. So that's why this one specifically is as high as it is on this ranking. Okay, I had to drink some water for a quick second. Talking this much. Alright, so the next one on this ranking is going to be the Harry Potter palette from ColourPop Cosmetics. This one does not have a mirror, which is completely fine with me because I don't need a freaking mirror on every single palette. Like, I very rarely use them anyway, so I'm kind of happy. Now, I absolutely adore this color story. I really, really do. Now, here's the qualms with this palette. Now, this palette is super beautiful, but I did get patching with this specific shade, and what I'm noticing is that some of their more, I want to say that when their copyright is very expensive, they cut corners in their quality, which fucking sucks, because, like, to me, this is a beautiful palette, but, like, why is this green shade so, like, kind of patchy? And the shimmers are a little bit, but but I absolutely adore it. Like, I do pull this out and I do use it. I used it in a look that I haven't posted on my TikTok yet, and probably by the time I post this video, it'll already be posted on my TikTok. I definitely, especially if you're a Harry Potter lover like myself, like, I love Harry Potter. I watch all the movies over and over. It's pretty sick how many times I've watched all the movies. Like, we're just not going to talk about it. Some of the guys that I'm friends with, they're like, absolutely not. We will not be watching that. And I'm like, well, you're being annoying, and yeah. Especially one of my particular friends, he's like, absolutely not. That's freaking ridiculous. I'm like, okay, fine. Don't rain on my fucking parade. But yeah, I know that there's a lot of controversy surrounding Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling, but for the sake of the makeup, I absolutely really love this one. I just love the outside packaging. Like, look, it's so thin. It doesn't take up that much room. Like, I think that if they did more palettes with this type of, like, thin packaging, like, look, you can just, you're doing so much. I love it. It's so beautiful, but I do kind of, like, it kind of sucks that this screen is kind of patchy. Like, I know I've said that like a million times, but that's mainly my, like, thing about it. But other than that, I fucking adore this one. This one's so beautiful, but it's just not as good as some of my other palettes that we're going to be talking about. Let me grab those and I'll be right back. Alright, guys. You guys are gonna be hating me so much because there's more ColourPop palettes. Ugh. I know, like, I'm ColourPop's bitch. Like, honestly, I bought so much this year from ColourPop. I didn't even realize it, but when I was pulling all these palettes out, alright, so the next palette that we're gonna talk about is the Hocus Pocus 2. I love Hocus Pocus. Let's start there. But I don't know what it is, but this color story just didn't do it for me. I will obviously, like, I've bought all 3 of their Hocus Pocus palettes, but this one doesn't speak to me nearly as much as the first one did. But this one's better than the second one, so, like, if I had to rank all 3, this one would be second best, and the second that came out would be the third, and the first one that came out would be first. Like, this one's okay. I love this particular, this particular shade. I love this row. I love the green row. I love the black and gray row. I just don't really care for this type of purple. I don't know why it bothers me as I'm wearing purple, but I just didn't really gravitate towards that, and I don't like this color at all. I do not like it. I would not use that at all. I don't know. That's just where this one fell, just because of personal preference, but I do like the quality in this one. This one definitely had better quality than the Harry Potter palette, but this is just where this one fell. Okay. So now we're really getting into the palettes that I definitely enjoyed and had a lot of fun with. This is the Star Wars palette. I am not a Star Wars fan. Let me start and say that. I am not. I don't know any of the storylines. I've never watched any of them. But oh my god, is this good. This is so... This blue is so good, and the black is so good. Like, this was so good. This is probably, if they would have came out with this quality in the Harry Potter palette, I swear that the Harry Potter palette would have been the top 5, guaranteed top 5. But this this particular palette, like I said, is beautiful. Quality's amazing, but it's just like it's not as good as the other palettes coming in. It is gorgeous. I do really enjoy in this silver, and the blue. Beautiful. I really like this shade, or this palette, but again, I don't use it nearly as much as my other palettes, which is why it landed where it landed on this rank. Alright, now we're going to talk about, maybe I should have switched these two. Okay, maybe I might switch these two. Yeah, okay, so in ranking, now that I'm like really looking in them, so the next one we're going to talk about is the Soulmane palette by Odensai. This is a beautiful palette, but now when I'm comparing it to this ColourPop palette, I would definitely rank this one lower than this one. So imagine me not talking about this one, but this is where I would rank after the Hocus Pocus, this one. This one is beautiful. I like it, but it just doesn't bring me as much joy looking at it as this one does. So after the Hocus Pocus one, I would definitely go this one and then this one. As far as the ranking goes, it's beautiful. I love the shimmers, but it doesn't bring me nearly as much joy as this palette does when we're really getting into it. And that's really what it is. If it brings me joy, depending on where it was, this one would be after that Hocus Pocus one, and then this one. Obviously, like, it just, I don't know. And some people will, like, argue with me and, like argue with me about that, especially if they own both of them. There's just, like, I don't know. It's just not as, I just don't think, it's not as good as I thought it was going to be, because this got really hyped up on YouTube, so hyped up, and I bought it. I'm like, I don't see it. So I was like, okay, whatever. It's still a beautiful palette. I do like it, but again, it doesn't bring me nearly as much joy to use as that color as this one does. So let's just go over this. After this one would be this one, and then the ColourPop palette. Okay, so the next one is going to be my Melt Gemini palette. This is what this one looks like. The color story is amazing. I honestly love everything about this color story, but I hate the shimmers. Let me put that out there right now. The mattes are phenomenal. Like, they're absolutely gorgeous. Sorry, I always have trouble holding these things. I love the color story. The black's phenomenal. And I probably need to find a new word to describe this. I really enjoy the color story, but I do not like the shimmers. Melt shimmers are not it for me. I'm pretty sure from here on out I probably will not be buying any more Melt Cosmetics palettes. Frankly, I don't like the shimmer quality at all, to the point where it kind of ruins the palette performance for me. Like, it bums me out that I don't like the shimmers, and I feel like a lot of the time shimmers can be so important to the fundamental usage of palettes. I don't know how to explain it, but I've pretty much decided after I got this palette that I probably will no longer be buying from Melt Cosmetics, mostly because I'm not a fan of the shimmers. And I've heard a lot of their palettes can be super hit and miss. Thankfully, the formula of this specific palette, the mattes are all really great. They perform really well. And I have no qualms outside of the shimmers being not good at all. But I really like this palette, and I love that it says Gemini on the top. I'm a Gemini, so I kind of like, this is what kind of pushed me to buy this palette, and I had waited a long time to buy it, but like, I probably will not buy anymore. But other than that, the matte formula is phenomenal. It's beautiful, blends amazing. I really like that. The next palette is the Ace Beauté Tropics Vibe palette. I really like this one too. I really like this one. The green, I buy a lot of palettes that have a lot of green. Have you noticed? This is a beautiful palette. I love that they reformulated this, and it makes it really a lot more user friendly. I really enjoy this. I'm not really sure. I just kind of felt like this is where this one needed to be at. I don't use this specific palette nearly as much as I should, but it's beautiful. I love their quality now that they've reformulated. I do have one of their old palettes that with the old formulation. It's beautiful. I don't reach for it anymore, but I do love the color story. I think that if you've never tried Ace Beauté and you're curious, I think you definitely should try it. It's beautiful quality. I just don't reach for this one as much as the other ones that we're going to be talking about. The next palette we're going to be talking about is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Nouveau palette. I love the new aesthetic of Anastasia Beverly Hills. I love this packaging. It's super sleek, very like just chic. Ugh, I adore it. The mirror's a nice touch. They definitely elevated their formula. Like, I love this shade here so much. This one and this one at the end, two of my favorite shades in this palette. I really love all the colors. I'm not a big fan of this purple. It's pretty, but I don't know what to do with it, to be completely honest, especially with this type of color story. I'm sure I can mix it in with the peaches, but like, meh, not really a big fan of that. But I really adore the formula is phenomenal in this palette. Like, I love this formula. The kickback isn't nearly as bad as some of their old formula. I do like that. Aesthetically, this is very up there for me. Formula upgrade has definitely left me wanting more from the brand. More of this type of color story though. I wasn't a big fan of the palette they just recently dropped, the Rose Metals palette. I didn't pick that up because it just wasn't my color story. But if they come out with a little even more grungier palettes, so even if it's if they come out with a palette a little more grungier or deeper, like, I will pick it up immediately. I do use this every so often. Again, reminder, you guys, I have a big eyeshadow collection, so this one's up there. I really enjoy the formula. The aesthetics is just up there for me, so this one's definitely a winner for Anastasia Beverly Hills. The next palette is going to be the Blend Bunny Cosmetics, the Dollhouse palette. This one is gorgeous. I love the way Blend Bunny sets up their palettes. I do have another Blend Bunny palette that we're going to be talking about. I definitely use the bottom shades. You can see that I use a lot of the green shades, and I use this right up to this mauve the most. Again, I'm not big on pinks and like kind of mauve colors that much anymore, but I definitely get a lot of use of this palette, and it's beautiful. The quality is beautiful. Definitely up there in caliber for me. Okay, so this is the palette that created this look, and this one is the Cosmic Wonder palette by Terra Moon Cosmetics. Let's look at it. Bitch, listen, look at this gorgeousness. Let me also start with, this is not a beginner friendly eyeshadow palette. It is not. If you are brand new to eyeshadow, even though I know you love it, it's beautiful, it is not beginner friendly. These are all pressed pigments. The mattes in here are all pressed pigments. I'm pretty sure the entire thing is pressed pigments. It took me forever to blend. The mattes are hard to blend. These are not easy. This takes time and patience. Which is why this ranked where it is, although that I haven't used a lot. This is the first time I've used this palette. I can tell you right now my thoughts, feelings. Love this palette. It will probably be higher in a future ranking if I choose to add it into a different ranking in the future. It is not easy to blend for new people, for new eyeshadow beginners in eyeshadow. It really isn't. It is not for new beginners. It'll take forever. You'll get flustered. You'll hate it. They are so pigmented, full on. Like, I have a TikTok on it. It's just like, search my page, I'm telling you, like, I'll explain everything on there. The shimmers though, the shimmers, bitch, look. Yes, but not beginner friendly. It is just not beginner friendly, which is why this is where it is ranked in my rankings. The next palette we're going to be talking about is another Blend Bunny Cosmetics palette. This one definitely is more of a color lover's neutrals dream. I think I said that right? This is very much something I would use. Again, won't use this grow-ish, more than likely I probably won't use it. I have used all of these. I actually haven't used any of the greens, surprisingly. I don't know, it's just like the greens aren't really calling to me. I've used this one. I've used almost all the shades in here except the ones I pointed out. The green shades right there, I haven't used those. Oh, I did use these reds. I thought I didn't. Who knows? I don't even remember the look I did with this, but I really do like this quality. It's still beautiful, blends out beautifully. If you've never tried Blend Bunny, I think this would be an amazing palette to start off with, especially if you're not super into color and you are interested in their formula. I think this is an amazing palette to start with, and it's not overwhelming. Alright. Oh, this one's gonna cost some people to get sassy with me. So, before I begin this specific palette, I got this one on deep discount. Like, I would never have bought this at full retail, and I've always said that. This is the Natasha Denona Biba palette. I've been wanting this forever. Now, I've been saying, I know I sound like a goddamn hypocrite about the fucking neutrals. I don't like neutrals. You're right, I don't like neutrals. But what really is this black? Believe it or not, this is the reason this palette is ranked so high, is because this fucking black right here. I shit you not, I will pull this palette out every single time to use this black. Period. Like, on period. It's the only, like, I will look for a black and will always reach for this one since I've got it. I got it like 3 weeks ago. And ever since then, I've reached but for this black whenever I needed a black. It is the most beautiful. Like, this retails for $130, and I got this for $64. $64. This is cheaper than their MIDI palettes, and that's saying a lot. Like, I always said, if this ever becomes cheaper than their MIDI palette, I will pick it up, and it did, and I grabbed it the second I saw it posted about that it was on sale for $64. I don't know if that means they're going to be getting rid of it or whatever. This was definitely like this is for real neutral lovers dream. Now, again, this will never be a #1 palette for me, but this is where it's ranked. Felt fair to me. But this black, oh god, it's so good. It's so good. So good. Okay, the next palette is going to be the Heather Austin and Adept collaboration palette. I, again, love the packaging. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. It genuinely is so beautiful. Why this palette is ranked where it is, because of the freaking shimmers. When I tell you that is their shimmers, their multi-chromes, duochromes are the absolute fucking shit. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. Do I like their mattes? No. I hate the mattes. Don't like the mattes. Like, did not like the mattes at all. But I, like, there's a dent. Can you see it? There's a dent in this one. In Austin, there's a dent. Like, bitch, when I say I dig into this palette, I'm digging in. I love their multi-chromes and duochromes and the whole shebang. If you have not tried Adept Cosmetics, I'm telling you, freaking bite the bullet. Just use a code, look for a sale, wait for a sale. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. If you don't get this one, I definitely, I think you should start with this one because it's just amazing. But I don't like the mattes, and that's unfortunately, but I love the aesthetic of the palette. I love the duochromes, multi-chromes. Like, it's so beautiful. Oh, gosh. Oh, so beautiful. Now, I think we're about to get into the top 5 palettes, or top 4, top 5, whatever. But I think let me take a, hold please. So this was number 6. The whole time I've been counting on the rank, but this is the 6th palette. We're going to get into the top 5. So let's do it. Alright guys, I'm so excited. Like, I'm so excited. We're in the top 5. Top 5, girl. Okay, So in my last rankings, I don't know, I think I did it super early in the year, I don't remember. I talked about how much I love this palette, and it's still in the top 5. Still in the top 5, but I think, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know I ranked this as like my highest ranked palette, the Watch the Queen Conquer palette. I still love this palette, but I'm not reaching for it as much as I'm reaching for these other palettes, guys. I'm so sorry, but I love this palette. Look how gorgeous it is. It's not my favorite, like this is not my favorite side, but this is my, sorry, it's also, it's a double-sided. It's a big clunker. Oh god, this is my girl. This is my jam. This is my jam. So beautiful. So beautiful. I still love the quality of P. Louise. Everything about P. Louise's quality is so superb. I love the uniqueness of their packaging. Yes, it is very bulky. It takes up a lot of room in my bag. It takes up so much room, girl. So much room. But the quality is superb. It just really is. It's so good. I absolutely love the quality, the color story, everything, the shimmers, the mattes. It's just so good. Honestly, if you've never tried, especially if you're trying to get a green, I know they're having so many sales right now, it's so insane, but I would definitely suggest you guys pick up a palette from P. Louise. You will not regret it, because they just have so much selection, and I know that their palettes are very bulky, so if you don't have a good place to store them, don't waste your money. Like, if you don't have a good place to store them, don't waste your money, girl. It's gonna annoy you. You're gonna end up hating it. But if you are a makeup lover like me, who doesn't give a fuck about packaging size for the most part, honestly, yeah, you need to try it. This is definitely a winner for me. This would be number 5 in the countdown. And this is number 4. Oh, it's another P. Louise palette, and it doesn't have a lot of like versatility. Oh, it's so good though. This one and this one will blow your fucking mind. Will blow your fucking mind. I'm telling you, will blow your fucking mind. I think I got this one on sale too. It's so. All right, guys. So I'm sorry, my SD card got full, so I have to speed this up. So again, this will be number 4. Love this one. Keep trying the P. Louise. I'm telling you, you will not be wasteful. This was small enough, it'll fit in your collection. If you're really interested, they have smaller palettes. This one is gorgeous, especially if you're looking to get into blues. This one's beautiful, blends beautiful. The next one is going to be a kind of 2-in-1, because they came in the same collection. This is the Glam Light Scooby-Doo collection. Both of them, I got the bundle. They're absolutely gorgeous. They're beautiful to blend. I do still suggest, when I did my review on TikTok, that this one's easier for, especially for beginners, to, you know, put a look together. But I love using this one also. Probably I've used this one the most, but this one's absolutely gorgeous and easier to blend. But I love my dark colors. So this would be number 3, both the bundles together. Absolutely freaking beautiful. I'm so sorry that I'm rushing now, but I ran out of space in my SD card, and I don't want to have to try to erase anything else. Number 2 is going to be another P. Louise palette. This is the Money Shop palette. Again, this is a clunky ass bitch. I'm so sorry. This is beautiful. Beautiful, guys. I love green, and it's just super versatile. It does have a second second drawer that has another section of palette eyeshadows in it, and I love that it has browns and neutrals, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Phenomenal quality. I love how just super, like, I'm super into the packaging. I know it's super clunky, but oh my god, I love it so much. And number 1, guys, and for the win, is the Adept Cosmetics Minka palette. I'm shocked too. Bitch, I'm shocked too. I'm shocked too. But the shimmers, girl, no. There's no way it couldn't be number 1. There's no way. All I want to do is reach for this palette. I don't reach for the mask, obviously, but just all, oh, when I'm telling you, don't walk, run to get this palette. I'm telling you, like, it's so good, especially if you're looking for. Alright guys, like I said, the Mink palette is a walk, don't walk, run type palette to get. That's my #1 for 2022 palette ranking. If you like that, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm sorry for rushing, but my SD card is so full and it's bursting at the seams. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Bye guys.